Hello everyone, my name is Symphonix, and before I actually kick off this video, I would like to point out that this video is not meant to commit any offense to or insult any fans of any product. It is an unbiased video simply stating the facts about each console, and the things have been misunderstood by many people. And I wanted to clarify that because there are many things about the Xbox One and the PS4 that have actually been misunderstood, and I figured it would be helpful for everyone if I cleared that up because there are things about Xbox One that people are simply not understanding. There are also things about PS4 that people aren't understanding, both benefits and things that are bad. So I want to go ahead and explain each of those things in this video. So I will put a few points on the video explaining, what each thing is, and then later on in the video I will go in depth with each of those points. So without further ado, here you go. Alright, so here's a picture I found that actually bashes the Xbox One and completely defends the PS4 in pretty much every single way. It says that there are no online checks, and it explains that there are no restrictions on lending games to your friends or family or whatever. There's no restrictions on selling or trading games. There's no mandatory camera that's people consider creepy. There's no extra charge for Netflix and other certain apps that you already pay for. People are also saying that the PS4 has better components than the Xbox One. You can play single-player games without having to be online with the PS4. And lastly, people are saying that the PS4 is DRM free. Now, after stating each one of these things about the PS4 and how it is supposedly better than the Xbox One, I'm going to now go in depth with each one of these subjects and explain them all very, very, very in depth. So first of all, the online check. I don't like the idea of having to actually check in every 24 hours. That is one thing that I think Microsoft should reconsider, and Sony did get right. I can understand Microsoft's reasons for doing this, but I think they should reconsider that idea. However, the amount of data that needs to be transferred in order to do one of these online checks every 24 hours is very minimal. It is such a small amount of data transferred that you can actually use your mobile device to create a hotspot and use the Wi-Fi from there to actually do your online check every 24 hours, and there you go. I mean, it's really simple. You should have a mobile phone if you're going to buy a $500 console as well, so I mean, it's no big deal. One really important thing to understand is that on the sharing games, there was a silly video posted by Sony that was showing how easy it is to simply hand a game to a friend and let them play it. Just, hey man, I want to borrow your game. Can I borrow it? And then the friend, just lets him borrow the game. So that video was kind of ridiculous. In fact, it was kind of a blatant lie, if anything. What they said in that video was not really true, and they're totally lying to the consumers just to attack Xbox and their restrictions. And here's why. So Sony is condoning the ability for games to be lended, borrowed, etc., but that they're leaving it up to the developers. So if someone like EA does not want you to share your game with your friends, they're not going to let you. So Sony saying it's easy as pie to just hand over a game to your friend and let them play it is not totally true, because certain developers might say, actually, I'd say most developers are probably going to put restrictions on games. Not just certain ones, but most likely most ones, because most developers don't like piracy. So a lot of these developers are likely going to say stuff such as, we don't want you to share a game with your friends. We want them to buy their own copy. So developers can put their own restrictions that, like Microsoft, they're doing restrictions for all games. But a developer for PS4 can actually put the same exact restrictions for their certain game. And EA already does that. You have to buy an online pass for Battlefield games, and that's something that's not really new to us. I mean, if you're a Battlefield player, that's nothing new. And so Sony saying that you can just easily hand over any game you want is a blatant lie, so you gotta watch out for that. What people are also failing to understand is that with Xbox One, you get a cloud gaming library for your account. So if you go to a friend's house, you don't even have to bring a physical disc to play your games on their console. Cloud gaming allows you to access your own profile's gaming library and play the game directly from cloud gaming on their Xbox. You don't even have to bring a disc to play your games on a friend's Xbox. That is how easy it is, and people are not thinking about that. You know, there's always like, oh, we can't play games at friends' houses because, you know, there's no sharing of games. It's like, that's retarded. Go to your friend's house, download your game profile, and voila! Alright, the next thing is that people are considering the always-on Kinect camera to be slightly creepy, and people don't seem to like that. They seem to think that Microsoft's gonna somehow watch them and hear their every word, and it's just like, really? You're gonna resort to conspiracy? Microsoft is not watching you or hearing your every word. People that are on laptops that have a built-in webcam, any computer that has a webcam, your computer is likely connected to the internet, and you have a webcam, so it's like the same exact thing. Your cell phone, always connected to the internet. You know, if you have a smartphone, it's always connected to the internet, and it has a front-facing camera. So, what's the difference? It's the same exact concept. So you're saying that AT&T, that Verizon, T-Mobile, any of these carriers are watching your every move, listening to your every move. There's a microphone built into your phone. Now, if you're that concerned about that whole issue, and you really just like not gonna have any of that mandatory camera thing always on, so the thing is about that, you can actually disable it. That is not mandatory to have it always on. Anyone that says that is simply misunderstanding the entire concept. Basically, you can disable it. If you're connected, if you're concerned about Microsoft spying on you, you know, through the Kinect, you have a number of options actually. First, you can set Kinect into a paused mode, which is all but the same as turning it off. Secondly, you can determine when and how your Xbox One uses your information, you know, through the privacy options that will be available. Finally, you know, you can also spend some time thinking about why Microsoft would care that you're sitting in your underwear watching old episodes of Breaking Bad on a Saturday night. Like, goodness gracious. You know, like, you think they might target you for advertisements? Oh no, you know, I've used Facebook recently, it's the exact same thing. I mean, you can't get worked up over this. I mean, you have multiple options. You can put it into a paused mode, which is pretty much the same as turning it off. You can determine, you know, what the Kinect sees or hears through your privacy options. There are multiple things you can do. I mean, it's not even a big deal. You shouldn't be getting that worked up over it. But, you know, if you are, you have these options, which is, you know, I think good. People are just, they didn't know about these options, but I'm revealing it to you guys. The price. So, the price for the Xbox is $100 more, and that $100 means everything to a parent trying to convince, or a parent trying to get a present or a gift for Christmas for their kid. A kid that's asking for one of these consoles. You know, the parents are going to be like, wow, that $100 is a big difference. Why don't we just get the PS4 because it's so much cheaper? And to them, it's the same thing. Parents don't always understand these things. Not all parents are tech savvy. And so, Xbox One is already at a disadvantage. Now, the reason that Xbox One is more expensive is because it is a all-in-one, it's an entertainment system. It comes with more features, and it comes with Kinect. I guarantee that if PlayStation 4 came with their ITV thing, I guarantee it would be way more expensive than it is currently. I guarantee it would be close to the same price as the Xbox One. People are saying that the PlayStation 4 has better components than the Xbox One. This is not true. Not true at all. The RAM in the PlayStation 4 is using GDDR5, which is newer than the Xbox's DDR3 RAM, and they both have 8 gigabytes, but the GDDR5 is actually newer than DDR3. But what you have to understand is that it's actually been proven that DDR3 has a lower latency than GDDR5. GDDR5 actually has more latency than DDR3, which is something interesting to note, which will actually hinder the CPU on the PlayStation 4. So, plus, what you also have to understand is that Xbox is using cloud gaming. You know, they can use cloud computing, which is going to make Xbox's computing CPU, you know, its power 3 times more powerful than what the specs say on the Xbox One, making it more powerful than the PlayStation 4. Now let's actually talk about cloud gaming. Cloud gaming is a new thing. It's, you know, it's kind of revolutionary in the gaming industry right now. It's a big thing. It is the future of gaming. Cloud gaming is huge. There's so much you can do with it. It's amazing. And so Xbox One is going to roll out with cloud gaming already set up, already ready to go out of the box. The things you can do with cloud gaming include trading games and selling games. Despite what everyone is saying and what Sony is saying and stuff, despite what they say, you can actually trade and sell games just like normal at participating retailers such as GameStop, Game in the UK, and other retailers such as related to them. So the big guys that most people go to are all included in this participating retailer list. There are local stores that may not have this option, but most retailers probably will, and the local ones are probably going to work on getting those certain licenses and things. Also, if you wanted to say, sometimes you have a sibling, right, and they want to play a game on their console or something like that, and they're like, hey, can I play this game, like your younger sibling, and it's really annoying when that happens, right? Well, with cloud gaming, they can play the game library version of the exact same thing, so you don't even have to worry about getting a different disc. They just access your game library on their Xbox through their account, and you get the exact same thing. So you can play your game, you can play the exact same game at the exact same time. And I think that's super amazing that you can do this kind of thing. And to add on to that, you can have up to 9 other Xbox consoles having access to the same game library. So you could actually give your friend access to your game library, and they could then, if you get a game and they're like, hey, can I play that game, can I borrow that, they can just access your game library and play it from there anytime that they want. You don't have to give them your disc, which is way simpler than Sony's stupid video that tells you how to let a friend borrow a game, which is a lie in the first place. So I mean, this is way better than anything we've had before, and people just don't understand that. PlayStation 4, on the other hand, is not even going to get cloud gaming until even a year after their console is released. So out of the box, the PlayStation 4 is going to be a dinosaur. And I mean, they're saying they're going to have cloud gaming, but they may not even have it for a much longer period, which is definitely not good. It's going to hinder all the features that PlayStation 4 is talking about. They're not going to be able to fulfill what they're saying, if they're not even going to get what they're saying they're going to get in a year after the console comes out. And when they do get cloud gaming, there's going to be issues. Because, I mean, let's think about this. Alright, so Sony has more of a mess on their hands than Microsoft does. Instead of having a system where all your content is set up the same and accessible from everywhere, you will have a content system in which games may or may not even be restricted in various ways. Some games on the PlayStation 4 will be accessible from everywhere, and some won't. It'll be a toss-up, and you better hope you get what you're wishing for. Alright, so check this out. This is a picture that I found that shows a quick description of each console, shows the price and stuff like that. And if you notice, why don't we take a look at the dates here. So on the Xbox One, we have a set date of November 26th. Look on the left, December 31st, 2013 for the PS4. Now, let's think about this. The reason that they have to put December 31st, 2013 is because they have to put some kind of date in 2013. They're saying it's going to be in the holiday season, so they're putting it at the very last possible day in 2013 for the holiday season. They don't have a set date yet. They're just putting that as a placeholder. They do not. If you looked at their E3 conference, it said the PS4 will be released sometime during this holiday season. Now, that seems a bit worryful. That gives me some concerns. They may not be able to release their console in time for the holiday season. They may not have their console out by Black Friday or Christmas, which is going to be a big setback. And if they do get it by then, it's going to be a rushed product, and there might be hardware problems. So to close this out, this is kind of, I hope you guys understood what I said, and I hope a lot of it made sense and all that. I hope this kind of opened a few of your eyes and made you understand what, the truth about all of this, and understand that the Xbox One is trying to go for the future, and people are not understanding that. It's like people are a little bit behind the time, and you kind of have to stick with things. I guess we'll see how things unfold in the next few months. Between the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, I'm gonna have to say that the Xbox One. So if you learned something from this video, make sure to leave a like down below to help spread this video so more people can see the truth. Share it if you want, comments on what you thought about it. And yeah, I will see you all later.